This song I wrote a long time ago now.
What key? What key?
Maybe B. Try D.
D.
B.
B. Hold on one minute. Tell them about it.
As Don mentioned, our family became Christians. I became a Christian when I was in college. And it was the first time when I started going to church, it was the first time I'd ever had a church family. A lot of people grow up in a church, but having a church family is like an extended family. You have all these aunts and uncles and grandparents and so forth that sort of adopt you when you're a young person, and it's a really good thing. And so this song I wrote for some of the older people in our church. And I was doing a concert down in Homer, New York one time, it's probably been 8 or 9 years ago. And I was telling the pastor, who was a lady pastor, she was probably in her early 20s. She was just out of seminary, her first church. And I did this song, and then afterwards I was telling her about my home church in Waldinsville, how we planted a church. It was a brand new church, and my wife and I were two of the older people in the church, and she looked at me and she said, "Oh, you're like the old pioneers." And I was like, "No." And then I realized I can't sing this song too much longer before it's not really relevant. Everybody I'm singing about is my age or older. Not that many people. So, anyways, this is a song called, the song is called Pioneers. He thinks back to the place where the big river flows, back to the time he wore a younger man's clothes, when the dream that he had was to see the Lord come in the clouds of glory and carry him home. Now the days have passed by, he stood true to the test, but the ones who stood with him have gone to their rest. But his dream's still as strong as it was way back then, for he knows the Lord's coming, though he doesn't know when. He's still keeping the faith, he's a light in the dark, sharing the way with the willing of heart. He's one of the reasons that some of us here are still keeping the faith. He's an old pioneer. Now week after week she sits there in her pew, watching others now doing what she used to do. Though her legs have grown weak and her ears have grown old and her hair's turned to silver, but her heart's still like gold. So she offers up prayers, writes notes that bring cheer, whispers words of encouragement we all need to hear. Though she knows that her time is now short in this land, yes, she always is willing to do what she can. She's still keeping the faith, she's a light in the dark, sharing the way with the willing of heart. She's one of the reasons that some of us here
Oh,